Hello guys, I'm back from my hiatus and I'm going to talk tonight about the Colossus and the Titan on the 101. Hello guys and welcome back to the 101. Tonight I'm going to talk about the Titan and the Colossus. I want to start off with the Colossus. And the Colossus, whom I best think of as a large power, is Samsung. And I say that because Samsung is something that really, they're a company that is massive. They do more manufacturing than any other brand that has mobile industry involved. LG is probably the second largest. But in terms of overall manufacturing, they produce a lot of devices. They produce a lot of other products, refrigerators and stoves, and just you name it, they do it. So today I want to talk about the Note 8 and some of the features that are going to be coming out, and is it worthwhile? Well, let's talk about it. The first reported info about the Note 8 is that it's going to have 64 gigs of storage, internal storage, and that it will have an SD card support, so of course 256 gigs of additional storage, which is going to be great. That's going to make the phone very viable for the long term. It'll have a QHD screen, which is going to be 2K. I don't know that it's going to go 4K. A lot of people are saying that they're going to try and reach the 4K marker. I don't believe that that's where Samsung's going to go for multiple set of reasons. The first reason being that there's no reason to go to 4K. The only thing that 4K will help you with is going on VR support. And while, yes, the Gear VR is something that's important, it doesn't sell a high quantity enough to ratify or to sanction a 4K definition screen. So I'm really thinking they're going to go with the 2K screen, and they will, of course, be having dual cameras. We've seen different leaks and images that show dual cameras as being in a vertical formation. They could be in horizontal. I have seen images of that, but I'm thinking they'll probably be in a vertical formation, much like the iPhone 8 that people are talking about. Also, we're going to be getting a single fire speaker on this. Don't expect stereo speakers, folks. It's one of Samsung's real drawbacks. They have a terrible speaker system. However, they usually give you a pretty good set of headphones, and from the Galaxy S8 and the Galaxy S8 Plus, tremendously upgraded audio headphones. So that's going to be that's probably about the only thing you're going to get out of it that's going to be really good. We're looking at a 835 or 836 processor, probably the 836, because I think Qualcomm is looking to produce the 836. However, there's still some jumble going on whether or not it'll actually be on the Note 8. Of course, a smaller battery than the Galaxy S8 Plus. That was reported on Pocket Now. This is something that I've questioned because, as you know, last year's Note 7, it had a smaller battery than the Plus version of the Galaxy S7. And don't know that that's really a smart move, but of course it's the cautious move, and it's maybe for them that's maybe a better idea to go with a smaller battery, so less problems, less thought that there's going to be an explosive device. And I'm not saying it will, I'm not saying it would, I'm just saying that they're probably going to take the cautious route here. We're also looking at multiple new S Pen features. I was reading about it in an article about increased support of full language support, being able to completely copy text and get it translated right then and there. I believe that was a Note 7 feature. We're probably looking at an iris scanner, so nothing real new except for maybe the infinity display, which again, it's not going to be, that's nothing new. The size being a 6.3-inch screen, again, nothing new. And here's the real kicker, and this is the one that I've seen the most responses on the internet right now, which is 999 euros, which, if you don't know the translation of that, That's over 1,000 American dollars. That's 1,118 point some odd cents American dollars. Do all of the features that they are going to supply on the Note 8 warrant a $1,000 phone? That's not for me to answer. That's for you, the consumer, to answer that question. I don't personally know that that's going to be the best move for Samsung. I think that if they do decide to produce this device for $1,000, I think we're looking at probably a lower sell point. We're looking at probably the Note 7 FR or FD or whatever it is. I think that will actually sell better if it actually comes to market. I don't really think a lot of people are going to be impressed with a $1,000 device, especially when there's not a major upgrade from the Galaxy S8 Plus, and even when the Galaxy S8 Plus has a larger battery. The S Pen does not make it a better device. Having dual cameras, again, I don't know. Again, that's something you have to decide, but it's something to think about for sure on this new device, this new Note 8. So they are the Colossus. They are a very large power in the market for Android devices. There's nobody out there on the Android side that can compare to their amount of control on the market. The Galaxy S8 has sold tremendously well, according to Samsung. The Galaxy S8 Plus has done really well. So they are doing something very good. However, the Note 8 might not be the best-selling phone of the year. And, of course, with all that it's coming with, is it the best device? Again, that's something you have to decide. Now let's talk about the titan of the industry. Now, the titan is known as Apple. And I say that because this defines the company as someone with tremendous power in the market, but also they have such influence. Like more than any other company that comes to bring a device to market for consumers, Apple is where it starts. You may not like them. You may disagree with them. You may not like their tactics. You may not even like their device. But the simple fact is that Apple brings to the table more than any other company, because every Android compares against the iPhone. Every single one. Okay? Any high-end smartphone that they call premium is going to be shown against the iPhone Premium Line Edition, whether that be the 7 or the 7 Plus, and now of course we're talking about the iPhone 8, the possibly the iPhone 7s and the 7s Plus. So everything is always compared against their premium line devices. Now let's talk about the iPhone 8 or the X, whichever. I don't know what the name's going to be. I don't think anybody does. It may even be called the Anniversary Edition. I doubt it, but they'll probably go with the iPhone 8 just because it keeps that number line. They may even bump it up to the iPhone 10 for the 10-year anniversary. Who knows? But there are some really impressive things that they're going to put on the new iPhone. And that is, finally, we get an OLED screen. How long has it been, Apple? Oh, it's terrible. I'm not saying we can see a definition difference between 1080p, 720, 2K, and 4K. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, in screen resolution, the visual appearance of an OLED screen, because it's, the design, it is better than an LCD screen anytime you compare the two. OLED just works better. So, plus it's going to be better power consumption. So, again, it's something you have to think about. Is it better? I know it is for Apple. This is going to be great for them. I don't think people are really concerned about a 2K definition screen. What they're more concerned about is getting that OLED screen, which Samsung is providing that for Apple. because of course Apple is buying that from them. We're also looking at probably at the bare minimum of 64 gig to possibly 128. I'm thinking more along the lines of 128, especially if we're talking about a $1,000 phone. So if it's starting at the 128 price point, that's pretty impressive. Internal memory. Now we are not getting SD card features on this. That's never been a discussion. I don't think Apple's ever going to go that route. And the main reason is because they cannot control their memory, their memory sales. They would not be able to they would make an Apple SD card, but it would sell terrible. You have SanDisk, you have ScanDisk, you have plethora of names out there. Even Samsung would produce an SD card for the Apple phones. We're also looking at something that's a little different than the Samsung devices, which is a flat screen OLED. Interesting. Apple has decided not to go with a curved screen. Now, there is a little bit of a difference of opinion on that. Some people are loving the Infinity display, how it just completely curves on both sides. I'm not a big fan of it. Not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's not what I prefer. I don't prefer the Infinity display. I think it makes the phone far too vulnerable. So iPhone's flat screen OLED is impressive. I like it. And I am buying my wife the iPhone 8, so I will have a device later in the year when it does come out, so we'll be able to, I can kind of show you the features, show you what it looks like. We can talk about it then. Plus, the iPhone is looking to have the iOS 11. Is iOS 11 any different than iOS 10, iOS 9? Not really. I don't think there's going to be anything important there. Looking at the A11 chip, guys, look at the speed of most of the brand names. Producers on YouTube. You can look at MKHBHD, you can look at Pocket Now. Guys who have really, their bias is not, it's not centered around Android. So look at people who are giving a fair chance on both sides of the fence, and then see what they're doing with the devices, and let them compare the devices. The speed on the iPhone 7 Plus has already bested, in most instances, I'm not saying in all, but in most, against any other phone. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be the Galaxy S8 Plus, it can be the Galaxy S8. The iPhone 7 Plus, in raw processing power, has beaten every phone on the market. Just about. Now, I expect the A11 chip to just be at 20 to 30% faster, but does it matter? Again, that's something you have to decide. I mean, it's something you have to be looking for. You have to make these decisions based on the facts out there. Don't let people define what you want to buy. If you want to buy a Samsung Note 8, don't let people say it's too expensive. If you've got the dough, go for it. If that's what you want, buy it. If you want to go with the Titan and go with Apple, and you want to have the rockin' most premium looking phone that people are going to talk about for a long time, and get the iPhone 8, get it. If you've got the money for it, go for it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying look at the features of what you're getting, and then look at whether or not it's worth $1,000, because these phones are at the bare minimum of $1,000. Okay, and yes, I know people are going to say it's all about rumors for the Note 8. Well, the rumor mill has been pretty strong that Samsung said this to their partners, and if they said this to their partners, it's gonna happen. Now, personally, I feel that Samsung is making a mistake. I think if you price your device not competitively, but right on par with the premium Apple devices, what makes you any different? How is your device better? just because it runs Android? I don't think so. Look at the LG G6. It is an amazing device. And it's doing very well competitively. And it's selling for 700, 700. I don't even know the price of it, but it's selling very well. Even the HTC 11. So, again, you have to make the argument of what is it you want, and is it worth what you want price point wise? That's what you have to answer. You, the consumer. So think about it. There's two new devices coming out later this year that are really going to be rocking. These are going to be two amazing devices. I'm really excited. And yes, I know there's some other phones coming out, but let's be real. Who's talking about them? Nobody. So think about it. Consider it. Look at what you're getting, and then make that decision yourself. Okay? So, anyway, this has been the 101, and I look forward to you guys on the flip side.